Habits never used to stick for me until I discovered these simple tips that made them stick no matter what. I would make a goal of losing 15 pounds every new year. I'd sign up for a gym membership and exercise for maybe a month, and I would lose some weight. But the minute I fell off the wagon, all of my progress would be erased and I'd slowly go back to eating badly and skipping workouts. I would get all excited about new projects and business ideas, but I would end up quitting halfway through because I didn't have enough time because of my full-time job. So I'd procrastinate until I did have enough time, which kind of means never. That all stopped when I started incorporating the advice I'm going to share in this video. First thing to understand is motivation and goal setting is a bunch of bullshit. It's not going to help you and it never really lasts. We've all had motivation before, we've all set goals before, and we've all fallen off the wagon before. So what makes you think motivation is the key to success? There's plenty of motivation to go around in the world. If motivation was the only thing you needed to become successful or lose weight, we'd all be fit billionaires. The reason why motivation doesn't work is because the novelty of doing that new thing wears off eventually. So it becomes boring, hard, or both to do it. For example, you might start skipping workouts because you're too tired, sore, or lack the motivation to get up out of bed to go and put on your running shoes. Not only that, but if you are waiting around for motivation to strike before you do something, you'll most likely procrastinate for a really long time before you ever get started doing it. Let's say you want to become an artist. The scariest thing you're going to have to overcome is fear of the blank page. Every single artist, writer, creative deals with this. The number one key to success if you want to become a professional artist or creator is the ability to get started as fast as possible. That's why when I'm stuck in a creative rut, I always just scribble on a blank piece of paper. You will find that just by starting, no matter how badly, slowly, or lack of effort that you're actually putting in about 5 to 10 minutes, the ideas just come flowing out. Once you've gotten started, the next thing you have to do is set systems rather than goals. This is something I learned naturally through running a business, but I first heard the term coined by cartoonist Scott Adams. Systems are what actually run a business, not any individual employee, and that includes the CEO. Businesses with a bad system are guaranteed to fail, and that can be applied to our life and our goals. For example, a boss that micromanages her employees, doesn't allow them to figure out how to solve problems on their own, doesn't really have a system. She is the system. So if she falls ill, screws up, the whole business is going to collapse the minute that happens. But let's say she figures out how to hire employees that actually know how to solve problems on their own. She hires an accountant to do the books for her so she's not managing every single little receipt of her business. And she hires a sales team to help bring in leads so she's not just the sole salesperson of her company. Her business now has a system that can run independently of her. So if she's really burnt out for whatever reason, needs to take off on vacation, she can do that without fear that her business is going to go up in flames. The rate of success for her business is now so much higher because she's not doing everything all on her own. So if losing 15 pounds is the goal, the system would be choosing how many days you work out, how many days you have rest days, laying out your workout clothes at night so it'll be easy for you to wake up early in the morning to work out, and to figure out the most efficient workout regimen that helps you lose weight the fastest. Without the system, losing 15 pounds is just a pipe dream, and having a bad system is usually the reason why most people fail at their goals. There's a quote by Goethe that says, "The things that matter most should never be at the mercy of things that matter the least." A lot of times, and I'm definitely guilty of doing this in the past, we get caught up with being so productive, we don't actually realize the tasks that we do are not actually all that important. They're just kind of busy work. According to the Pareto principle, only 20% of our actions are contributing to 80% of our results. In order to figure out which actions those are, I like to do this little quadrant exercise that I learned from the 7 habits of highly successful people. You draw a big square and you divide it up into 4 quadrants. Label quadrant 1 important and urgent. This is basically for crises, deadlines, and unexpected opportunities. Basically things that absolutely need to get done no matter what. Quadrant 2 is labeled important but not urgent. This is usually reserved for things like learning, planning, vacation and rest days, relationship building, and the act of doing things. Quadrant 3 is urgent but not important. Typically, checking emails and meetings fall into this category. Quadrant 4 is not urgent and not important. So any kind of time waster falls into this category, like any kind of excessive video game game playing, TV watching, things that waste time and don't contribute to your life in any kind of way. By starting the day categorizing all your daily tasks, you'll quickly see which quadrant you typically operate the most in. The most successful people typically operate in section 2 because they choose to section off time to do important things like relationship building, growing in whatever way possible, learning how to do new things. But for most people, and this might be you, it's kind of the most neglected quadrant because you really do have to set aside time to learn, set aside time to build those important relationships in your life. Instead, most people spend all their time operating in quadrant 1 or quadrant 3. If you operate in quadrant 1, you're basically just running around with your head cut off, putting out fires and emergencies in your business and life, and you just are this close to burning out. Whereas quadrant 3, a lot of people who are really into being productive but are actually wasting a lot of time in meetings and checking emails and never actually getting anything of importance done. And if you're operating in quadrant 4, it's typically the most irresponsible quadrant. It typically means this kind of person has a hard time holding a job and having any kind of real responsibilities because they are wasting a lot of their time instead of focusing on their own personal growth. When I started using this quadrant method to plan out my day, my life changed pretty much instantaneously. It's the main reason I am capable of filming, editing, uploading to YouTube every single week consistently, while also having the time to hang out with Vincent and the people I love the most. The next and most important step is to believe that you've already accomplished your goals. Every single successful person does this. Before you can accomplish anything, you have to believe and act like the kind of person who has already accomplished the goal that you want. So instead of saying you want to lose 15 pounds so that you can become a fit person, you have to believe you are already a fit person. When you start doing this, you might tell other people that you are a fit person, which means if you don't go to the gym, if you don't eat healthy in front of them, it'll make you a liar, not only to them, but to yourself. So you're that much more likely to not eat fast food all the time or go to the gym regularly because that is what a fit person does. This mindset change is everything because it's the key to achieving all your goals and also changing your entire lifestyle so that you will keep all the changes. This is actually how I was able to become a competent enough artist to get hired at big Hollywood animation studios. I used to think if only I could get hired at these big studios, then I would finally be considered a great artist. But that attitude never helped me get a job. In fact, after I graduated college, because I had that attitude, I struggled for a while wondering what more could I do. I'm not getting the job offers and the opportunities that I wanted. Everything changed when I shifted my mindset over to I already am a great artist. That way I could focus more on myself. I went to more drawing workshops to make sure that I was upkeeping my skills and also getting better. I made art prints and my own apparel to sell at trade shows because I was confident enough to create my own income and not rely on other people because I knew I was a competent enough artist in order to do that. Or at least I believed it. It was after I changed all of this about myself, only then was I finally hired. That same exact attitude applies to anyone looking to become a successful content creator. You don't post videos to become a great YouTuber. You are a YouTuber because you post videos. And these tips have helped me lose all the weight that I gained from being miserable at my corporate Disney job. It's how I was able to create artwork consistently while working full-time, and it's essential to the way I operate now as a full-time YouTuber. If this video helped you out at all, make sure to help me out by liking this video. To jumpstart all these new habits, check out this video next to watch me suffer through a dopamine detox.